Hey folks, Lucid, welcome back. Got another episode here for you with Lemuria, episode 21, or not episode 21, turn 21. And yeah, we had traded for some more stuff with Gartha. We traded for elemental armor and then skull mentors. The skull mentors we paid, he's getting them with a forge discount, so it cost him 8, and I think he charged us 9 for them. But we didn't pay in death gems, so I don't know. Gartha is really helping us a lot. On one hand, I wouldn't do it if I were him, but on the other hand, he has definitely built up a huge amount of goodwill, where even though he really looked like an early war target to, like, I think all things equal, if I got to pick who to attack, I might have rushed Agartha, just because they don't have any magic weapons probably on their troops, if I was going to, like, rush. But now, by this point in the game, turn 20, when they're going to have Dust to Dust and potentially Wither Bones and stuff out. Yeah, not really. But I did want to get this Underwater Throne. So, anyway. We probably won't be getting that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try to stay allied with this guy as long as possible. He is definitely proving to be a very helpful ally. I mean, these are all trades, so presumably he's getting stuff he needs. But yeah, what this has done, though, is I've taken these Skull Mentors. We put 2 here, which hops up their research, and 1 here. And my RP is at an extremely respectable for Lemuria, 114 per turn. Now, we're... God help me. I have been under the weather for quite some time, as you no doubt know from watching this series. But yeah, we are still going to be bottom of the barrel. And one of the first things I want to do, we haven't really looked at score graphs. I want to do that. I've been looking at them all the time, but we'll do that in a hot second. We finished some enchantment. We got enchantment 2 done, which doesn't give us a ton. Gives us Revive King if we need it, but yeah, not too much else. For messages, Gath has claimed the Throne of Knowledge. And the name of cannibalism is so old-fashioned. That's funny. Okay. We have claimed the Golden Throne. Sweet. And then Archchronics, to be specific. And then we found out, this is actually at the throne site, we found a Graveyard of the Damned, which is sick. It's one of the best sites for Lemuria. It is a Death 2 site. So we are very happy to hear about that. And then we got a Murdering Mire here, which is a Death 1 site. So pretty stoked about that. So we just got +3 death income, which is huge. Actually huge. Coming down, we have some battles, so let's go ahead and watch these. This guy is just heading into that... this is where their god was. This is Sertoma. And then coming down, we attack here into Bugarus. And I didn't think they would have anything in position to guard against it, but apparently they did not. And apparently they did not. And this is what Lemuria excels at, possibly above all other things, is raiding PD. Our guys are quite good at raiding PD. So give us space to do it, and we will do it forever. Now, this is Phlegra's capital, and he did not have anybody of consequence patrolling his capital. Not really. And on our side, out in front, being extremely manly, is Valik. And if this doesn't shit your pants to have these guys just show up on top of your capital, well, I don't know what will. But Valik is going to get in here. And how many kills do you think Valik is going to get? My guess is it's going to be a 20-turn battle, and he's going to get about 2 turns. No, it's probably not going to be that one. I bet you he gets 30 kills. Come on, Valik, what's going on, man? There we go. Leak, you better get going. It's not, I actually kind of want to look a little bit for a second at, okay, we're hitting. Yeah, we're actually getting a fair amount of repels. If we harass them down, that's kind of what I wanted to see. Yeah, repelled again. So, like, these short attacks, like these guys, they actually get repelled a fair amount. Which kind of happens a fair amount in general when you have, you know, like a Link 3 spear. But just outnumbering them, they get a harass penalty, and then defense matters for that, so. Okay, Valik. I don't know if you're going to make your 30 quota. Okay. So how many did Valik get? Not very much, only 8. So, did not hit his quota. Maybe next time. Coming down here, Phlegra decides to ping me with a, I guess this was a mage? A priest. It's like, what is over here? What you doing over here? Big scary army. This was the group, these guys were part of the original kind of first wave of troops moving up. These people were all basically dudes who were going on that southern flank that distracted them to move south, and I've now moved them up north. Okay, we have a battle here in Tiradir. A small little raiding squad with Centurions. And they will break the PD successfully. And then we have a battle here in the Great Mountains. Excellent. Also like one dude, 2 dudes. And then we had a few events. So we found a treasure and got a Helmet of Heroes in addition to some gems. More Earth Gems. Very nice. We've been getting Earth Gems almost every turn. But then here we lost some of that gold and we got some death. So a little sad. And then we can finish a few forts. The walls of Phlegra have been moderately damaged. More time is required to break them down. So guys, that was pretty good. I cannot complain there. And if we look at the map, we can see we have just cracked open the side of the map. His army is here desperately trying to get to his capital in time, though he's a little bit late. I have these 2 armies I could choose to consolidate on top of his capital. But I don't think I'm going to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is there's a chance he takes this whole army and moves it here. If that happens, we will not have the support of his god. Because his god, you know, his god was here last turn. So where did his god go? Well, really the only place his god could have gone is it could have potentially made it here, which it didn't. Or it could have gone inside his fort. So I'm pretty sure his god is inside of his cap. So what I imagine is his god is going to pop out with like a ring of regen or something and try to kill everybody. That is what I think will happen. And I might bring Sertoma. Well, this guy will at least... This guy should kill his god, because he's going to do about 50 damage a turn. But his god, Infernally Dominion, if he has a Ring of Regen, could regenerate close to 50 a turn. So we'll just have to see. I don't know if this will be quite enough. Potentially with the bleed... I think with the draw blood part, it will actually probably be enough to still kill him. But it'll probably be pretty slow. I wanted to have Sertoma come in and join, but I ran a test just to see how Sertoma's going to do against like 100 crossbowmen. Because he has this Shield of Valor, which gives air shield, and then it can also block projectiles. I think he needs fire resistance. Right now, without fire resistance, the flaming arrows will probably kill him. But Valik actually, even though he doesn't have a shield, But he does have the dancing shield. This just proves to be enough, combined with the fire resistance, that he's not going to die. And I would rather not lose the gear. And additionally, so basically what we're going to do is, instead of have everybody go on top of his cap, which is what it will look like I'm going to do, we're basically going to have everybody split up and go raid and take all their land. And then they'll really be fighting from the back foot, because they're not going to be able to replace any losses, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to move over this way. This will also potentially check this fort. So what I could choose to do is then take both of these forts instead of taking their cap, and it'll actually take me less time, probably. I do want to get to his cap in the next 10 turns, but that's kind of okay. We'll see how long it kind of takes for us to do that. The risk... Well, once his cap falls, then everybody's going to start kind of vulturing or potentially even ending their naps with me. So I want to be a little careful. So I think taking these two is probably okay. But we'll see. Also, taking these two will probably trigger Marignan to enter the war. So we're not going to be overzealous there, but we are going to raid. I want all of his income. Basically as soon as I can get it. We're going to be raiding here. I think we're sending Sertoma here. There's a very good chance he pulls some eparchs from his capital and sends both of these guys here, and he's going to be like, hey, gotcha, we're going to come kill you. So if he does that, there's a decent chance Sertoma's going to kill them. Now they have an Astropalagist, and an Astropalagist is, and potentially they have multiple Astropalagists, and we'll take a look at Astropalagists real quick. They're Air 2, Astro 1, which means he could do air elementals. And he could also do lightning. So there's a decent chance that Sertoma dies, but, what are we going to do? The kit I made for him is really to come join this guy down here, to join Valik on top of the cap, but... I took everybody off you. Okay, why do you still have an army sign? Just a little worried. I don't think it's really... Well, we can see everybody, right? So, let me go back and look at last turn, which was turn 20. And see how big the army report was, because I think it was significantly bigger. 150, yeah. I think this is closer to the true size. Mostly crossbows. I think it's like 80 crossbows, and then here, inside here... See, this is where his bull was last turn, so I think his bull just hauled ass inside his capital. Crossbowmen, so it's probably about 50 crossbowmen, and then probably about 10 flagrant oppressors. So... all in all, it's about, if this is about 90 and this is about 50, it's about 140. Yeah. If there were few, as odd as it is, if there were fewer, I would send Sertoma. But I think there's enough where sending Sertoma, he is more likely to die. And there's really very few circumstances where we need Sertoma. The worst case scenario is really lesser air elemental spam. They'll trample me, because I'm only size 2, which is fine, but eventually they could shock me if I get them small. So I don't know, actually it probably wouldn't be that bad. But mass trample can still be annoying. Ethereal's pretty good at blocking trample stuff, and then the dancing shield's pretty good. So yeah, I think we just leave him be. It will be okay if he does air elementals here. And then if he does, like, spams a lightning bolt, that could be annoying too, but lightning bolt will pass out. I think we're okay. So anyway, unholy power, unholy protection, unholy blessing. Let's switch the order of some things up. Blessing, unholy power, unholy protection. And then I think we're going to do advance and cast spells. That way, if there's an eparch, we might capture him. Okay, so I think he goes here, and then these guys are raiding here. We're going to take some of the people who were on as cap this turn, as well as this little goon squad, and we're going to go send them on top of this fort. Just go ahead and lock that down. And then this is where the main army is going, with Pendragon, who is going to be doing Power of the Shadelands. So that's basically it. From there, this whole flank is going to be probably wide freaking open, so we'll probably conquer most of it. Oh shit, I didn't realize this was an underwater throne too. Yeah, there's probably going to be a real coalition formed against me as soon as I kill Phlegra. That's potentially okay. So anyway, those are the main happenings. We're basically just going into extreme raid mode. And Agartha has apparently attacked Bogarus up here, which is nice. Midgard, I haven't gotten any updates, but he's probably still getting gangbanged. This fort, it is finished now, so we are a level 2 fort. We are upgrading it to level 3. We have started recruiting adepts of the Golden Order, these randoms. And they will be phenomenal researchers. We have started building this, or we started this last turn, but anyway, we're patrolling here. This fort is 1 away, so this will be coming up this turn. We're putting a temple here. This fort here is 2 away, which means it's time to go ahead and move in a priest, so we're moving a priest in. And then I've just started construction of this fort, which there's probably going to be some decent magic sites here. And then later on we will want to claim it, though for a good long while we're going to leave it well the fuck alone. But later the Dominion push will be something we want, whereas right now we don't particularly care for it. And it's going to piss our neighbors off more, so... Anyway, there's that. Off my porch is starting his site searching duties. And so he's going to site search here, and then probably site search here, and then make his way down like this. And that will be what he does for the next long while. And fortunately, most of the places he's going to be going are going to have a lab. So if I need to, if I need him to stop what he's doing and forge something, we'll be able to arrange that. But I hope he gives me a nice little trickle of most of the gems that I don't have. A couple more earth would be great. Another fire or 2 would be great. But we'll see. Because he should be finding, at least a fair amount of stuff. Meanwhile, troop production at home going okay, and I promised this episode we would take a look at score graphs, so let's go ahead and pull those up. So provinces, you can see we did phenomenally, and as a reference point, probably the middle of the pack. This is probably where most people were at this point, like right around here, with probably like a band between here, and then we're probably like significantly outside the pack. And then we got a little bit bigger and bigger. This was I think this was the start of the war. So this was us, like, expansions mostly over. I think this was getting some of the underwater stuff. And then this was the start of the war with Phlegra. And then they counterattacked, and then Bogarus attacked, and then... yeah, I think Bogarus marched in deeper, and then we killed Bogarus's army. And now we are going deep on the offensive. Forts. We haven't had a fort in a while, but we kind of got this big first wave put up, and then we've been upgrading them. And then we're kind of going for round 2 now that I'm feeling more secure, and that I have a shit ton of money. But anyway, we've been a little stagnant on forts. Shame on us. But I mean, we're spending our money. We've been doing labs and stuff too. So there's been other things that have been happening aside from just forts. Income, we can see it had kind of been declining, and then this has obviously been a good turn for us, which we're very, very excited about. The Lemurian board approves. Next up, gem income. You can see that has been looking mighty fine recently. Was finding 3 death gem sites. Next up, and then also some of this also is from raiding. I think we got Smolderstone and then maybe a couple other things. So that's quite nice. We'll be hopefully getting a bit more. Next up we have Research, which has been horrible for basically the whole game until recently, when it is now less pathetic. Let's just say that. But this was without my god. So this is going to continue. It's going to not be so noisy. Before this just been like, God researches, doesn't research. He researched for 2 turns in a row to get his construction too. And then he was building items for this whole time basically. And then this is now when we have actual mages researching. Dominion, this is kind of like the driving graph for army size. So my Dominion has been just steadily growing, steadily growing. Here you can see, this is kind of when most of my forts are starting to get temples up. It starts kind of inflecting up. So now it's kind of going up a bit more. It curved down a little bit this last turn, but that's fine. It's going to be going nuts. It's going to keep, this is going to keep going, or this is going to keep going. Right now, we're probably top of the pack for Dominions, or for Dominion, if I had to guess. We're probably like a little bit ahead of the next player, if I just was guessing. But I expect this was going to become much higher than other players over the next 10 or 20 turns. Well, 10 turns. 20 turns will depend on how the wars go. But army size, you can see, is really starting to go nuts. And you can see right here, basically, once I had more forts up and more Dominion, is really when it started going kind of crazy. Like, you take the fort graph right here, and you combine it with the Dominion graph, and it's like if you multiply these two graphs together, you basically get this curve for army supply. So anyway, this is phenomenal. We haven't lost many ghosts yet, basically all game. And then ascension points, there's not really anything to see there. So those are the graphs. Basically everything is going completely swimmingly. I feel like this is much more how Scaleria should play. I think my playthrough of them was pretty suboptimal. Part of it was because of my bless. So I had this like very big mid-game lull with Scaleria because I had a bless which was like Arcane Finesse and, you know, Reanimators, which was like a pure caster bless. But I think if you do that, you miss out on a lot of the strength of the consoles in the mid-game. So anyway, yeah, I think these guys are in trouble. I think they're in deep, 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 deep trouble. I think Phlegra is playing so hard from the back foot. If they can't talk one of my neighbors into ending their nap with me and attacking, I don't know what they're going to do. Bogarus, even if they launch a counterattack, I can just let them starve on top of one of my forts for a while. Like, this is a pretty big force. They could have like a force of 200. But I could easily, with what I have here, like as soon as I see them move out this way with the huge force, I could start pooling people and I could very easily get, you know, 200 or 300 guys just to chill out here. And then of course they would need to have an army that with my god I can't kit one of my consoles with strong enough stuff to kill that army. And don't forget that I have elemental armor. I have a charcoal shield, excuse me, which is going to give, it's a really high protection shield, and the elemental armor is 20 protection, so very, very high protection. And then it's going to give me fire shock resistance, and then, I mean, whatever sword I want to put on, I guess, I put some weapon on. But this, and then probably a dancing shield would be the other thing I would need. So I don't know how I probably can't get one of those terribly easily. But anyway, the odds of these guys really being able to stop me from killing Phlegra, I think, is pretty ambitious. We'll see. If I actually end up eating both of these guys before a coalition really forms, what I think will happen is I'll probably, like, God, I'll be so big. I'll be so big. Holy shit. Like, I'll have this for sure, and this, and I'll probably be able to get all this. They'll probably get some of the fringes. Maybe they get that. He's so big. Yeah, it's going to be nuts, folks. Going to be nuts. There's a very good chance I just run completely out of control. Final thing. We're upgrading this fort, I think, to a level 2 fort. Or a level 3 fort. And with this one, yeah, 3 months away. So, iFlight, going to search underwater for sites. And yeah, I think that's it, folks. Hope you're rooting for the underdogs over here who are in a 2v1 against me, because they're going to need your help. Take care.